Hi, and welcome to Random Rogers Big Picture for the week of February 26th. Just one thing on the docket this week, an email or a comment rather that came in that I found to be so preposterous that I had to share it with you. I'm going to alienate some people with this. Sometimes that goes with the territory, but I think it's more constructive for the other 6 of you who actually watch this video. I'll leave the person's name out of it, but it came in. The question is not why you would want to trade these lesser-known foreign markets. This is in relation to, by the way, that E-Trade was opening up some other foreign markets and products that trade in some of those other countries. I wrote about that in the middle of the week. These lesser-known foreign markets, that is a tough job unless you have intimate knowledge of those bourses. There are enough equities in the U.S. to keep you busy and invested for several lifetimes. He goes on to say ETFs are a good alternative as they keep you a bit more diversified and at least have managers with a better level of overall knowledge and access. He then goes on to say that he's been working with Schwab Institutional for 10 years, so this guy manages money for a living. Other people have entrusted their money to him. The easy one first, ETFs and their managers. Okay, well those are index funds. They're just mimicking someone else's indices, so that comment, makes no sense. Sorry, but that's just how it is. This thing about wanting to trade lesser-known markets, it's a tough job. That's what he does for a living, supposedly. I just find this insane that someone who actually manages money, I just can't imagine myself saying to a client, well, there's probably some good things going on in Ireland, but it's a very complex market, and I'm just too busy to learn the story. Yikes. To me, this is just insanity from someone who's in the business. Now, with regard to you managing your own portfolio, it's a whole different ballgame. You have as much time as you have to devote to managing your account. You do it a few minutes a week, maybe, not even, or maybe you make it a full-time job, but either way, you have what you have. If it's not your full-time job or you don't want it to be your full-time job, then you're not going to have a 1% weighting in Cambodia, a 0.5% weighting in Laos, and things like that. You're obviously not going to do that. It's not time well spent in the context of living your life. And that, believe me, I'm more than sympathetic to. And you can capture most of the effect with some pretty, reasonably broad things. I think, you probably at least want to narrow it down to sector and individual country. But even then, as a time constraint, that's not the ideal thing for a lot of people, and that's okay. And certainly, individual stocks are not ideal, at least not an entire portfolio of them, certainly not ideal for every single person, and that I understand. But this sort of cop-out or frankly, it's a lack of effort as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what this guy is doing with his time unless he's just meeting with more people to try and make the firm bigger. That's a big priority of a lot of people that do what I do. Frankly, you kind of, if you're going to go hire someone to do this, I think you need to tune in to what the guy is saying about what he's going to do, what's going to be in your account, who puts it in the account, and so forth. There's nothing wrong with getting help, but if the help you're getting is really just some generic portfolio of SPY, EFA, and IWM, you might want to think twice about paying 100 basis points or 150 basis points or more. This is really, I just can't believe that someone who's in the business, and in the business for a long time, so he's obviously doing well, that this doesn't become a problem for him. He does say one thing that I will agree with. Does $5 or $10 commission now he's talking about really matter in the big scheme? Good point. It doesn't. I made some sort of comment about Bank of America, their HSA product being just lousy with every aspect of service, accessing the website, even trying to place a trade. It was a miserable experience. And so assuming that spills over into their stock trading platform, I just assume pay the $10 or $12 that we pay at Schwab I think Ameritrade is $10. Scottrade is $7. I don't know how good Scottrade service is. Ameritrade service, that is kind of iffy. If it's straightforward, basic, you're probably in good shape. If you actually have a question that involves any sort of knowledge, I had an account there for probably 2 years, and the likelihood of getting a question that involved anyone with market knowledge on the first crack, that was pretty slim. Although the same really can be said at Schwab these days anymore. It's very tough to get someone on the phone on the retail line who can really answer a question without putting you on hold for 3 minutes. But I guess this is just more of a rant than anything else. Have a good weekend.